What if I told you that referral bonuses may not be the kryptonite you think they are? I see it all the time on YouTube feeds and Facebook feeds, etc., about how referral bonuses for new drivers are going to destroy the market. They're going to saturate your market. They're going to completely ruin you as a driver. Now, there's going to be some nuance to this. I wanted to say I do want to discuss referral bonuses. I get offers of these all the time, so I'm sure you do too. If you're watching this as a DoorDash or an Uber driver, they seem to be in the promotions tab every single week. Refer a driver, get $50. Refer a driver, get $100. Whatever it is. I'm going to explain that it may not be the killer that you think it is, particularly for yourself as an individual driver. Now, I'm going to add that if it's somebody who really needs it or somebody who wants to do it regardless and is going to probably sign up for it anyway, you might as well get the money. You might as well get the referral. For somebody who's saying that they're really thinking about doing this or really wanting to do this, let's say that they have a full-time job and they need a few extra bucks for a goal, etc., etc. You might as well get the money, get the cash, because they're going to drive anyway. I'm also going to discuss that if you are in a major large urban center, one driver is not going to impact your orders a single whit. If you're in, so let's say I live on the fringe of the Twin Cities market. Two different answers to the question here, by the way. If you're in the core of Minneapolis or St. Paul and you're referring to a driver in the core of Minneapolis or St. Paul, one driver is not going to make a difference. They just aren't. There's too many orders and there's too many customers and too many restaurants in those two cities for a single driver to make any impact on viability of driving or delivering, to make a single grain of salt of difference. They just are not going to do it. Now, on the other hand, you get out to where I live, a town of 20,000 on the absolute fringe of the Twin Cities metropolitan area. It doesn't get any more than this. The joke always goes for me that I don't live in the sticks, but you can see them from here, which is basically true. We have a lot of towns, that are outside of Forest Lake that are very small. We service the entire area because our restaurant core of this region is Forest Lake. So as a city of only 20,000 people, it punches above its weight as far as food, as far as restaurant scene is concerned. We really do. And we service a large area. Again, on the DoorDash app, the area is about 225 square miles or 15 by 15. But on the Uber app, it's probably about 900 square miles or 30 by 30. Reason being, of course, that Uber allows orders to go a lot further than DoorDash does. But in this smaller market, a driver can make a big difference, particularly on your slower nights. One driver can make the entire market unviable for an individual on a given night, especially if it's like a weeknight like tonight's going to be. You're going to want to think twice about it out here. But if you're in an urban core, if you're in the middle of Minneapolis or St. Paul, and you have a potential driver in the middle of Minneapolis or St. Paul, they're going to do it anyway. Get the money. They're not going to change your life a single inch, other than to possibly put $50 or $100 in your pocket, depending on what the referral bonus is for that particular week. You're always going to want to check the promotions tab in both apps to see what the offer is and to see what the qualifications are, because I know that these drivers normally have to complete a certain amount of trips. I don't know what it is at the particular moment off the top of my head. I haven't looked in the tab yet this week. So I would do that. Always study your offers just like you study your market. Figure out what the requirements are, how many trips they have to complete in order to earn you the bonus. And a lot of times what these offers will do is they will also offer them a bonus simultaneously. So you both will get a bonus. A few bucks for you, a few bucks for them. And as such, I would recommend that you read the fine print just like almost anything else out there. Know that if you're in a very large, densely populated market, when you refer a driver there, you're not going to change anything for anybody. You just aren't. It's not going to move the needle really a single tick mark or whatever that is. But if you're in a market the size of Forest Lake, one driver can absolutely make a huge difference on a given, particularly weeknight. And of course, you already know why the companies do this. They want their markets as full of drivers as possible. In my particular area, they do want this market stuffed, because the more drivers there are, the more likely drivers are to take bad orders. Now, if you do refer a new driver, you're going to want to show them some videos in my series. Also, like this video and subscribe if you're finding my content valuable. And I appreciate a comment from your observations on this particular subject, particularly in regards to referral bonuses. So, with that said, I'm going to leave you guys for now. I will see you on the next episode, and as always, peace out, homies.